Perfect. Excellent. Hey,
Yes.
Katja, how are you?
Hi, Pete. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Outstanding. Outstanding. You can hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for
Yeah.
agreeing to come on and yeah, and have a chat. See what we can do to help you break through some limitations.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
Tell me,
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
uh, tell me a little bit more about what your issue is.
My issue is that I have been burned out. So I haven't been working for like 11 years now, and I am an EMT. I want to facilitate courses. I want to be visible. I want to go out there and help people, and I can't do it. It just stops. I'm stopping myself because I'm really terrified of being visible.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Yeah, spending 11 years getting over a burnout has nothing to do now with getting over a burnout. Has everything to do with not wanting to get back in and risk the same pattern or being seen or being judged or any of that stuff.
yeah, yeah,
So that one of the first things we need to correct is the language pattern, because when you say
yeah,
you can't, that's a lie. And as long as you
yeah.
understand it's a lie, that's okay. We can deal with it.
Mm,
But the truth is you can, but you won't.
mm,
So the first thing we want to shift is the language around you telling yourself the story as to why you can't,
yeah,
instead of telling yourself the story as to why you won't. Because that shift on its own opens up possibility on how to deal with obstacles, rather than say, oh, well, I can't. Because once you say you can't, you shut down. There's nowhere to go. It's easy to say, well, I can't do it.
mm,
I'll dabble at this, I'll dabble at that. But if I say I won't do it, now we're having a different conversation with ourselves, because it opens up why, which is my next question. Why won't you do it?
why won't I do it?
Because you can't tell me you can't.
Um, what happens is that I feel that I can do it. I want to do it, and then I'm really insecure because I'm just so terrified of making mistakes. So I start looking everywhere for like some kind of certainty, even though I feel that I have this certainty inside of me. I start looking outside, then I get more confused. I just don't do it. Like the most scary thing I've ever done in my whole life was actually posting a post on Facebook telling that, oh, I've been through this and I'm doing this now, like a personal one on the
What
stars.
happened?
I got really great feedback and it felt really good. And I was looking forward to doing the next. So I was doing a few more and then I fell off. After a couple of months, I started again and then it stopped again. I stopped again. So I've been also afraid of like not being able to follow up. If I start something, will I be able to follow up?
And whose judgment are you afraid of most?
What just rings up here is my own.
And that's great. That's a great distraction.
Yeah.
And I get it. And I get it. Yeah. It's.
I don't know.
Probably thinking it might have been a mistake coming on here, but we're going to get through this. So let me ask you again. Yeah, because clearly it's upsetting. So whose judgment are you most afraid of? Who would hurt you the most if they said you were a failure?
I don't know, probably the ones that love me the most, but they won't tell me that. No one has told me that.
It doesn't matter what they do or don't, it's what's going on inside your head. They're not running your patterns. They're running their patterns. They're starring in their own movies. Nobody cares about yours, right? Only you care about yours, and you care about what you think other people are thinking about yours. Therefore, you're compromising yourself in your own movie. Who, irrespective of in the outer world, whether they would or wouldn't, whose judgment are you most scared of? Got to be somebody's, or are you just making it up?
I don't feel scared about being judged.
Okay, so then what terrifies you enough to stop doing what you know you should do?
I'm stopping. Why am I stopping? Right now, I don't know.
The reason you don't know is because you haven't asked the question, actually sat with it, been too busy buying into the old story as to why you think the old story is true, and therefore there's no need to keep questioning. So what is it you really want?
I really want to do what I'm kind of here to do, to use my potential. I just, like this last week, I've just had to take a step back and like what brings me joy, because I was so confused and just running around myself and looking everywhere, jumping on one challenge after another.
Yeah.
To try to be good enough.
Yeah. What has to happen in order for you to feel that you're good enough?
I have to take action. I have to force myself to do.
To do what specifically? Because what has to happen in order for you to feel successful, or what has to happen in order for you to live your potential or to live your mission, or what specifically has to happen? So if you don't know the answer to that, it's obvious you're going to get confused.
I have to start being visible and talk to people, because in my daily life, I don't meet a lot of people. So I need to go online to meet people and connect.
Okay. Yeah. And what was the time, or when was the time that you stopped wanting to be visible?
I've been afraid of being visible like this whole life.
Well, you weren't born that way. So what was it that taught you that the best way to protect yourself was to shut up and be a wallflower?
I was being told off once when I was a child, and I'm very emotional and I cry easily, as you can see. Okay. And that was like the worst thing that I could ever imagine. It was so horrible that I never did anything wrong, and I never raised my hand at school, and I just couldn't deal with my own emotions.
How
they were so probably 3, 4.
Who was the person?
My mom or my dad, I don't remember.
You just remember how it felt?
Yeah.
And so as a 3-year-old, desperately craving love, especially from mom and dad, desperately craving approval, validation, all the stuff as a kid that we want, you experienced one significant emotional event and decided to shut down at that point any possibility of experiencing that again, but at the same time that means shutting down any possibility of experiencing joy or happiness or fulfillment, also known as living our potential. So is mom and dad still alive?
No.
Okay. So even after they're gone, you're running the same pattern of being scared if they'll judge you. Do you have kids yourself?
Yeah, I have one son.
How old?
He's 18.
18?
Yes.
And yeah, see, that's the smile comes back.
I'm learning from him. It's like, it's okay to make mistakes, Mom. I'm like, yeah.
And did you ever give your son the same kind of experience that you received from your parents in terms of shutting him down emotionally?
I don't think so.
Were you more conscious around how you treat your son based upon that emotional experience that you had?
Yeah, and I know that it takes so little.
Yeah.
Because my parents were like the kindest.
I believe that.
Yeah.
But going back to that 3-year-old version of you who didn't have the resources, didn't have the understanding, didn't have the emotional maturity to understand the context, what if there was a way that that little girl could actually recognize the truth of what was going on? Not only that mom and dad were dealing with their own frustrations at the time, but at a higher level of wisdom, were giving that younger you the gift of being a better parent for your son. You had to carry it a while in order to make good, but there's a reason you don't scream, rant, shout, belittle your own son, because you know how it feels. So the gift that your parents gave you to be a better mom than they were trying to be is something you can honor and thank them for. Even after they're gone.
Yeah.
Because their gift, you can either be an example or a warning. And sometimes being a warning is the best example of what not to be, right? Now, I want to run through a technique that I'd like your participation with.
Okay.
And it starts with a 2-minute breathing exercise. And then we're going to go back and clear up some stuff with that younger version of you that's still tugging at your heartstrings. The first 2 minutes, all I simply want you to do is to breathe in for 6 seconds through the nose and out for 6 seconds. And the reason we do that is because what it does, it takes over from the autonomic nervous system, the one thing that we can actually consciously control or hand back to the autonomic nervous system, which is our breathing. And when we consciously do it, and we do it to a certain level of timing, what happens is your brain waves start to slow down, because now you are normalizing oxygen and CO2 levels, pH levels in the blood, at this particular rhythm. It also means there's no waiting at the top of the breath or waiting at the bottom of the breath. It becomes a circular breath. And 6 seconds is a magical number that has an immediate impact on biochemistry. If we do it for 2 minutes, it'll lower your brain waves from the beta, which is where they've been conditioned to go to talk about your victim story and beat yourself up and tell yourself stories as to why you can't be visible and what would happen if you did, and all those triggered memories. And it drops it into alpha, whereby you get more connection to who you really are than the story you've been telling yourself, who you've not been living up to. Now, once we get to that point, and I'll count you through, after 2 minutes, I want you to continue as best you can without focusing too much on the timing, but just continue roughly that same pace. After 2 minutes, you'll have it in the muscle memory, and then just follow my instructions. How does that sound?
Yeah, that's good.
Now, before we start, one question. If that younger version of you, that 3-year-old version of you, if they'd have had access to a higher level of perspective where they could have understood what was actually going on with their kind mum and dad in a bad moment, where they could realize it wasn't actually about them at all. It was just about the projection that mum and dad were having at the time in terms of their levels of frustration. They could see that this could be an amazing gift that one day you'd give to your own kids in terms of how to show up as a parent without being hair-triggered. What kind of resources do you think that younger version of you would need or would have needed in order to appreciate, understand, or experience that? The older version of you now, the more mature version of you, in hindsight, would be able to identify. What emotional resources? Give me a couple.
Compassion.
Compassion, beautiful.
Compassion and love.
Compassion and love.
Yeah.
Give me one more. Amazing job.
One more. I was going to say anger, because I even stopped being angry. Just though it's not scary. Your emotions are not scary. So it's okay to even feel anger, because it settles. It just goes through and settles and goes away.
2-year-old had have been able to experience anger instead of withdrawal. Would that have helped her identify, or protect herself a little bit from shying away, you think?
I actually think so.
Okay. Yeah. The energy there, and probably move more into passion. But yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Like a kind of a passionate anger.
Yeah, just
willing to take a stand.
Yeah.
To be seen for the fact that you disagree.
Exactly.
Something you're not very good at the moment. Understood.
To let the emotions rise.
Yeah. Okay. Let's take a deep breath in, and I'm going to time us for breathing in and out. 6 seconds in, 6 seconds out, 12 seconds, 10 times, 120 seconds, 2 minutes. Yeah. And again, the goal of this is simply to override the biochemistry and the tendency for our blood pressure, heart rate, story, all that kind of stuff to jump back up. And just gets us settled more into our body and allows the biochemistry, neurochemistry to really help support us in where we want to go. Sound okay?
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, you're in charge all the time. Just listen to me. So breathe out through the nose. And again, this is in and out through the nose. And so empty all of the air that you have out of the lungs right now. Breathe out. And then when you get to the end, breathe out a little more. And then relax and start to breathe in through the nose now for 2, nice and steady. 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In. And try to make the breath as smooth as possible, all the way in and out. Let it go. Try to elongate that breath, breathing through the stomach. And there you go. In. Try to make the whole 6 seconds smooth and out. No rest at the top or bottom. Beautiful. and in, and out, and in, and smile. There you go. And out. Yeah, it's 1 minute, and in, and out. Nice. Try to get in. Visualize the breath coming in all the way. Beautiful, loving breath, and out. In. Nice, one continuous movement, and out. And in. Nice and gently, nice and natural, and out. And in, last time, and out. And then just keep that pattern going as best you can, naturally handing over. And on your next in-breath, I want you to close your eyes. I want you to relax. And I want you to remember a time where you felt a huge amount of compassion. It could be for somebody, something you read about, a situation you were in. Just go back and remember the feeling you had in that situation where you actually experienced a huge amount of compassion. Give me a slight nod when you understand, or you go back, or you can remember a time. Now, keep the breathing nice and steady. Now, if you feel that feeling of compassion right now, and that feeling had a color, first one that springs to mind, what color would that feeling be?
Purple.
Purple, beautiful. I want you to take that purple, and I want you, as you breathe in that feeling of compassion, and you imagine in your hand, in your right hand, you're holding a balloon by a string. And that balloon is getting bigger, being filled up with that compassion. It's a purple balloon. And every time you breathe, every time your heart beats, that balloon gets a little bigger until it's a nice, big, round balloon, purple, full of compassion and energy. Just hold on to that balloon for a second. And now take another deep breath in, 6 seconds in, 6 seconds out. Now remember a time where you felt absolute unconditional love. It may have been the first time you held your boy. It may have been a time where you were just completely connected to life. But a time you absolutely felt unconditional love, no conditions, just pure love in its purest form. Give me a nod when you remember a time. Okay. And if that feeling of unconditional love had a color, what color would that be?
Pink.
Pink. Perfect. And again, as you feel that moment, see what you saw at that time, feel what you felt, hear the noises you heard, and just bathe in that absolute unconditional love. And now I want you to hold the string to another balloon. And this balloon is connected to your heart, and every beat of your heart giving that unconditional love pumps up that balloon, and feel that pink, vibrant, beautiful, loving energy inflating that balloon, completely connected to source. Beautiful. Feel that flooding every cell of the body. Every beat of the heart, simply bathing in unconditional love. Cool. And hold those two balloons together. Purple balloon of compassion, pink balloon of unconditional love. And as you feel that feeling, breathe it in, 6 seconds in, nice and steady, magic number, and let it go. And now, I want you to imagine a time that you had access, or a time you wished that you would have been able to have access to the emotion of anger, the tumultuous emotion, the emotion that takes action. emotion that propels you to not settle for less than what you deserve, for who you are, for drawing a line in the sand for who you are, that level of furnace. I want you to imagine that furnace burning, the furnace that serves you, the fire that can forge the steel of your potential so that you can be the warrioress you need to be at the time you need to be. Not as a bully, not as somebody who can't control that power, but somebody who can draw that sword when she needs to and have the strength that that anger can give her. And if that anger had a color, what color would that be?
Blue.
Blue. Beautiful. Yeah, that's a very hot flame. And right now I want you to take that balloon of anger and feel it fill up almost on its own, the power that it has, the strength that it has, the ability to draw boundaries, the ability to stand for your own truth, for who you are as your potential. And when that balloon is full and strong and powerful and that controlled emotion, give me a nod when it's there. Excellent. Now I want you to hold those 3 balloons together by the strings. Which hand are they in? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I want you to put them in one hand. Which is the hand you want to hold them with? Your right hand?
Yeah. My right hand.
Brilliant. Here's what I want you to do. In your mind's eye, take a breath in. In your left hand, you're holding a remote control, and this remote control allows you to control the scene that we're going to play in your mind. If at any time it gets too much, you can press pause. But I want you to hold this magical remote that you have full control over. And I want you to press play. As you press play, you start to notice in your mind the scene is of you watching that 3-year-old you just before she shut down, just before that significant emotional event, just before she got scolded. She didn't see it coming. Look at the innocence in her eyes. Notice the scene around just before it happens. I want you to press pause just before that event happens. Now what I want you to do is I want you to walk up to that younger version of you. I want you to look in her eyes. I want you to smile. And I want you to hand her those 3 balloons. The balloon of compassion, big, purple, beautiful balloon. The balloon of unconditional love, that incredible pink loving energy, and that blue balloon that has that fire inside that allows her to draw boundaries and not shut down. As you hand those balloons, tell her it's okay. She just didn't have the resources at the time. You don't judge her for that. You love her for that. But now you're coming back to hand her these resources. See her reach and take the balloons. Is there anything she wants to say to you? Don't have to.
Thank you.
There you go. Yeah. Anything you want to say to her?
You can be you.
And now as you step back, I want you to press play on that remote control, and I want you to see now she has these resources, these emotional strengths. I want you to play the scene out and notice what's different. Notice how she handles the situation this time. How does she feel about mom or dad having a bad day?
She knows it's not about her.
How does she feel about being able to stand her truth and not shut down, but step up?
She feels strong.
Feel strong, beautiful.
Yeah.
I want you to fast forward that scene a week from there and just notice how she's showing up. How she's showing up at school, or how she's showing up with her friends, or when her parents walk in the room. Notice what's different. Fast forward 2 years. Notice who she's becoming as a result of making different decisions out of that experience. Notice how she is with her friends. Notice her hand going up in class. She doesn't care if she gets the right or wrong answer. She just wants to participate because she knows the best lessons you learn are from getting the wrong answers, so she knows what to do next time. Look how proud you are of her right now. Fast forward till she's a teenager. Again, see how she navigates life. Confident, strong, in command, participating, squeezing out the life out of each day. Just want to play with life, not run from it. See how she is in the first job you had. See how it comes together when you had your first child, your boy. Feeling that you'll be able to give him those resources as well, just by who you are right now. Again, notice what's different. Fast forward through to this moment. Notice how you feel different about taking action. Notice how you don't care about what other people say to some post because you have those resources. You see it from compassion, you see it from unconditional love, and you see that they're probably just the scared little girl that you used to be back then. That's okay. They're just projecting. They're just doing what mom or dad did on a bad day. But that's not who you are now. Notice how easy it is to talk to potential clients. You can still feel those balloons in your hand. You've grown up with them now. Notice what happens when you think of yourself as a successful elite mentorship trainer. Fast forward 3 months from now, having grown up with those resources, notice how much easier it is to talk to people. Notice how much you look forward to posting just for the joy of posting. Notice how the universe has conspired in its infinite wisdom over the last several years to create the perfect backstory for you to be able to help other people who are also suffering from their mom and dad having a bad day. See yourself telling them your story of who you were and now who you are. See the difference that you're making in those people's lives and the people's lives who they touch and impact for their kids. Notice that one gift that you just gave to your younger self is now being duplicated with thousands of balloons being given out into your future to the children of parents right now that we'll never even get to see. How beautiful is that? That's why you're here. That is your potential. If you could go back and speak to your mom and dad, what would you tell them from this new place?
I would tell them, thank you for everything you've given me.
Including that experience.
Including that experience. Including everything.
And I want you to bring your mom, your dad, and the 3-year-old version of you into a circle right now. Feel how big those balloons are and throw that passion, unconditional love and compassion all around. Give them all a big hug. And if there was something that your parents would want to say to you right now, what would it be?
We always loved you. Oh, and we are proud of you.
No matter what you do from here, no matter whether somebody says no, or whether you try something and it doesn't work out first time, do they care or do they love you?
They love me.
Yeah. And now look at that younger version of you in the eyes. Look at her so closely you can almost see the reflection of the older version of you in her eyes. And without even saying any words, just communicate energetically how much you care for her, how much you've always been there for her, and thank her for giving you the gift of a new start, and tell her it is never too late to have a happy childhood. Knowing those energies are always with you, bring that scene to a beautiful close for now, and notice the energy of those 3 balloons have actually grown stronger as you've grown up with them, as they're part of you. Compassion for people who are so upset they try to complain. Unconditional love for those that are also having a tough day and projecting that against you. Unconditional love for yourself, to forgive everything you've gone through, to allow you to be who you are today, to have that story to share with others, to help them. And that energy that you've learned over the last several decades since growing up with those balloons, to be able to draw boundaries or take action when required without giving a damn of what other people think. This is your movie. You're the star. You're going nowhere. Now breathe all of that in deep over 6 seconds to anchor that in. 4, 5, 6. Hold and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, in, and feel as you breathe in that truth, saturating every single cell, every beat of your heart, imprinting it into your DNA, knowing this is who you are, this is what you do. You were born for this. You're not playing small. You're done playing small. Your heart is too big and has too much to give to play small. And as you own that beautiful awareness, knowing that anytime you need it, you can hold those balloons. Feel that giant purple balloon, that giant pink balloon, that giant blue balloon. Anytime you need those resources, they served you back then, they serve you now. Time to go out and make a difference. Well done. How do you feel?
I feel great. Thank you. I feel strong and calm and certain.
And if you need certainty, where is it now? Not in another course, not in another challenge,
no.
not another book, not in another hesitation, not in some more online research.
No.
Where's the certainty point? Yeah.
Here.
Tell me one thing you've been putting off that you're going to do today from this state.
I'm just going to make a video.
What about?
I don't know yet. I'll go to the beach and make it. Yeah.
Tune in. Tune in. Yeah, because you do know. It's one thing that you're absolutely going to go do right away that before you would have hesitated.
About taking action.
A video about taking action.
Yes.
You probably don't need to go to the beach for that.
No.
So here's my request, Katja. Tag me in that video.
Okay, I'll post it as well then. Not just make it. I'll post it. Yeah, and I'll tag you. Yeah.
Notice sometimes the old voice may creep in. That's okay. It's had a long time to get used to it. But you hold on to those balloons. You feel those resources, and you go back and look that younger version of you in the eye, and ask her what you should do. Again, notice what's different. I'm excited to see where we go.
So am I.
What module are you on with EMF?
I'm on the second time on module 11.
Oh, cool. I've got a feeling you'll be hearing things from a new place.
Yeah. I'm really, I don't have words. I just feel very, strong and decisive. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm excited for your new rules in module 11.
Yeah.
Katja, thank you for being part of this and for being the example and for the amount of lives that you're going to go out and impact.
Thank you, Peter.
A lot of people are going to look at you and they're going to love you for not getting it right because you give them permission to be who you really are. Really. I'll see you soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Excellent. Bye-bye.